coming for America, and I'm asking you all to give us a few months to get us through September so we can continue to put the country's financial house in order. Democrats will do anything they can to shut down our government, and we can't let that happen. We have to remain united, no dissent, fight for another day when the timing is right. Very important, make America great again.
House Republican leaders say they're confident they can pass the bill without the Democrats. The government spending authority expires next Friday night. Israel will send a delegation to Doha Monday to continue Gaza ceasefire talks, accepting the invitation from the mediators, according to Prime Minister Netanyahu's office. The Trump administration, meanwhile, holding direct talks with Hamas about the remaining Israeli hostages.
Despite a long-standing American policy against negotiating with terrorist organizations, the White House says an envoy for the president has spoken directly with Hamas looking for a diplomatic solution. All of this as President Trump issued a warning on Truth Social, telling the group to release all the remaining hostages immediately or face destruction. Hamas has responded to the president's latest threat by preparing for another offensive. They say any Israeli military action could lead to the deaths of more hostages.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichols. For the first time since being hospitalized 3 weeks ago, the Vatican says there's been a slight improvement in Pope Francis' condition, but it remains guarded. America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His family wants answers. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending this hour. Ernest Phillips, also known as Polk, was found dead inside a home in Morgan County in March of 2020, and his family is still looking for answers. Police say the home had been burglarized and the father of 3 had been shot, though it is still not clear who was responsible. If you know anything about this case, you are asked to call the Morgan County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. And 6 people likely overdosed in Indianapolis Friday on drugs that resisted Narcan. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The call started coming into 911 just before 3 p.m.
We have 5 people overdosing, is that correct?
One after another.
We're at Alabama and Washington Street.
Police say there were 6 people that were smoking drugs and collapsed at once. IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says when rescue workers got there, they tried to administer Narcan, but that failed because of the narcotics that the people were using.
Probably a mixture of spice.
Everybody that was taken to the hospital is expected to be okay. Police are still looking into this. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Multiple sources say the CDC is planning a large study into any possible connections between vaccines and autism. The news comes despite extensive scientific research already proving there's no evidence that vaccines cause autism. It's unclear whether U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's been vocally against vaccines for years, is involved in the study. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures in the lower 30s for Sunday. Winds out of the west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. High temperatures getting into the mid-50s. Dry and sunny days take us into next week. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Want to hear some great news? Preborn is bringing babies back to life. See, what you might not be aware of is even though Roe was overturned and abortion has been greatly restricted in many states, the abortion pill has superseded surgical abortions, accounting now for over 60% of all abortions. Preborn's network of clinics are on standby for women in their darkest hour, and they meet them with God's love and free services to help them choose life, including a treatment that counteracts the toxic abortion pill. Through these life-saving and heart-changing measures, Preborn and their network of clinics have rescued over 330,000 babies' lives. Your tax-deductible donation of any amount is crucial in the fight for life and the heartbeat of our nation. Will you help us? All proceeds will go towards life. Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/hope. Sponsored by Preborn.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Now, Beaver, you were trucking with a rubber duck, and I'm about to pull a plug on your drain.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIPC.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After a week of being preempted by Sportsgetball, I am happy to return to these hallowed airwaves of 93 WIBC. This is another edition of Saturday Night on the Circle, where I am your humble host, Ethan Hatcher, and another special announcement to make as we're welcoming back a very special individual.
It's the one, the only, the hero of heroes, Jack of Blades!
I have returned. After an eternity away from you all, Jack of Blades is back.
Give a big round of applause to producer Jack, who's back once again, beep, 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 pushing those buttons and doing the things to make the show function. Happy to have you here, sir.
Thank you for that introduction.
Where'd you go? What'd you do?
I went to Texas to help my brother move into a new apartment.
Went all the way to Texas? How was that?
Yeah.
What part of Texas? It's such a big state.
Austin.
Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like around there near Fort Worth, I think the town is called.
Yeah, I traveled around Austin. Of course, I spent some time in Dallas, a little town called Nacogdoches, I think, which is around where there was an unusual stop that I made time for when I visited Texas, the National Funerary Museum. Tell me you at least saw signs advertising for it.
No, but my brother kept on talking about Buc-ee's. And wanted me to go there so bad, like the gas station that's huge.
Sure, yeah. They got the roast beef sandwiches and the beef jerky and the other homemade snacks.
Yeah, like a bakery. They have everything.
Buc-ee's is fine, but they got those in other parts of the country. As far as I'm aware, this is the only place that has the National Funerary Museum. So if you're ever back in Texas, definitely make sure to make a stop. They got exhibits on everything: presidential funerals, papal funerals, all sorts of funeral exhibits and artifacts like buttons from the Abraham Lincoln funeral or different hearses. So very, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff.
Noted.
But of course, not all is good news here in the city of Indianapolis, where yesterday there were over 5 people, I think a total of 6, who fell victim to a mass overdosing incident. This was reported right across from the Julia Carson Transit Center.
Caliber Space Fire and Ambulance. What's the address of your emergency? We're at Alabama and Washington Street. You got about 5 people over here that OD'd. Okay, say the location again for me. Alabama and Washington. Is all of them awake? I have no idea. One's laying in a pile of water. One rolled in the street, busted his face. The other one busted his face on his... Do you see any weapons or anything at all? I have no idea. Okay, that's okay. 5 people overdosed. Alabama and Washington, correct? Yeah, that's on the way. So we see you there? Yes, we'll see you there. All right, thank you, ma'am.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Oh, how Indianapolis has fallen. You know, this used to be a decent town. Not anymore. If you look back in the Google machine and go back in time to circa 2016, 2017, that was actually a nice little corner park. They had flowers planted around. It was clean. It was maintained. Not anymore. Not in Joe Hogsett City. Not since Republicans lost the mayor's office here in the city. Now it's just trod dirt, very garish, strewn with trash, as was the case yesterday. And it's basically an open-air drug den, which the police are aware of. It's known. It's caught on security cameras routinely, and now this negligence has caught up with the city. Here was Rita Reith making the press briefing yesterday after the overdose incident.
All right, so shortly before 3 o'clock, Indianapolis CMS was dispatched to the intersection of Alabama and Washington Street for a single patient, possibly an overdose, but unclear what they were going to find. When they got here, they noticed several other people presenting the same symptoms as the patient they were called on, and they asked for more resources to respond. All of the patients were presenting what they believed to be symptoms similar to an overdose, but at this point, we're not really sure what the patients were dealing with. 6 patients were transported. 5 of them are critical. 4 of them required breathing assistance on scene, and that's kind of really all the information we have.
And who's going to take over the investigation?
Well, it'll be a joint. It'll be IMPD and IEMS. I mean, at this point, they're going to be, hopefully talking to the patients and figuring out what happened prior to the initial call that came here, just so that they can figure out what the symptoms were caused by.
It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
I told you last night, no!
So let's play a game, producer Jack, you and I. Let's play a guessing game. Spin the dial, watch it go round and round. Where it stops, nobody knows. Care to hazard a guess? What do you think these fine, upstanding Americans overdosed on? Producer Jack.
Either heroin or fentanyl.
That would be a very good guess. You hear a lot of fentanyl overdoses these days. You would be wrong. In fact, officers believe it was synthetic cannabis laced with either bug or rat poison.
Oh.
So, kids, don't go smoking rat poison. It will have deleterious effects on one's health.
Yeah.
And I mean, no wonder they were flopping around like fish. And this is known. This is the police are aware of this. Indianapolis is aware of this. People who ride the bus are certainly aware of the drug pandemic. In addition to right across from the Julia Carson Transit Center being basically an open air drug den, you have free and open drug usage on a lot of these bus lines, as described by a homeless man who rides on them regularly.
My name's Louis Lee Boroff Jr. I live in Rochester, Indiana, and I was supposed to go to Miami this week. They put me on a site called Towed My Car for no reason. So I've been living on the street, riding the bus after bus after bus, and I have been observing lots of drug activity, drug sales. They'll talk about ice and heroin and all that stuff. So I don't understand why the police aren't here, more of a precedent, but they'll accost and profile other people. But you can see that these people are deranged and outside of their mind, talking like, that in broad daylight. How can you not know that people are injecting? I mean, literally last night, someone tried to sell me a needle, which I have, and some stuff, and I told them, look, I'll take it, but I'm not going to buy it.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold. We had 2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, 5 sheets of high-powered blotter acid, a salt shaker half full of cocaine, a whole galaxy of multicolored uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, also a quarter tequila, quarter rum, case of beer, pint of raw ether, 2 dozen amyls. Not that we needed all that for the trip, but once you get locked into a serious drug collection, the tendency is to push it as far as you can.
Now, I don't know if you caught the Freudian slip there toward the tail end of that clip, producer Jack, where he was talking about how they're trading drugs on the bus, and he knows because he got a needle on the bus. He's got it with him now.
Yeah, he already has one.
He's already got one. Of course, he only took it because he told them he's not going to buy it. He's only going to take it if they're giving away the free drugs. So, yeah, that is the state of affairs in Joe Hogsett's Indianapolis. That is the legacy of the Democrat Party, not only on this metropolitan city, but, many other cities across the country, especially, you look up the situation in Chicago, and we're going to get a little bit into that later in the show, and the perverse incentives that Democrats have created for hooliganism and lawlessness. And the same pattern, of course, is repeated here. And in addition to the social decay of the city as witnessed by the rampant homelessness and the open-air drug use in our downtown area, we had a standoff in an apartment community on 30th Street and Baltimore Avenue last week because, producer Jack, they had a man on felony gun charges in the middle of a jury trial, completely unguarded. He was left alone in the courtroom with not even an officer present, not a lock on the door, and of course, this fine individual took advantage of the situation, got in a car, and left before they found him guilty. Now, the SWAT standoff resolved in his fatality. He ended up shooting himself in the standoff with law enforcement officers. But how bad is it that they are just they're letting criminals go in the criminal justice center?
Wait, so can you tell me the story again?
Okay, so he's on trial, right?
Yeah.
And the jury is deliberating.
Okay.
The judge has left the courtroom. The jury has left the courtroom. They are currently weighing his guilt or innocence, and they didn't leave a single sheriff behind, not a lock on the door. They left this man alone in the courtroom, and he walked out of the building. This is a large, multi-story building.
Yeah.
And nobody was watching him. Not a single security camera caught this until well after the fact, and he met a car waiting for him outside. This ultimately ended in a SWAT standoff and the casualty of the suspect, after which he had already been found guilty by the jury. Of course, they came back to the courtroom and, where'd he go?
They left?
Yes, left. That's
Why
what I'm
would
telling
they
you,
leave?
producer. I mean, yes, it blows your mind, the incompetence of the city of Indianapolis at truly every level, including, of course, the gross negligent. I mean, if you think the criminal justice system is bad, wait to hear about the roads, which, if you drive around, you already know.
Our mission today was to find the biggest craters in Indy, and I think we hit the jackpot. Come here. This is Purdue Road here, just north of 86th Street, and look at these potholes. They are massive. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at this one, 8. We measured this one earlier today. Guess what? 4 inches deep. And it is so dangerous that we have been watching out here as cars, they come up here, you can see one coming this way, they have to stop and go around these potholes because it is that dangerous. So I know a lot of people are wondering, the big question today, of course, is where is Indy DPW and when are these potholes getting filled? So we did get an update from them earlier today, and we are told crews have filled about 64,000 potholes this year and received about 10,000 complaints with about 4,000 requests still to go.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
What do you mean you've seen this? It's brand new.
Yeah, well, I saw it on a rerun.
It's a rerun.
You'll find out.
We go through this tiresome charade every damn year, producer Jack. And here again, DPW patting themselves on the back, very self-congratulatory in this circle jerk of corruption as they're dumping hot patch asphalt loosely into the holes, and it doesn't last more than a couple of weeks. It's very quickly before the tires of the car are kicking it back out because they're not rolling it over with a steamroller, let alone even a tamping device. They're just loosely packing it in. This is incompetent.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like those like black spots on the road that are that just don't help at all, really.
No, they don't help at all. It's, and then it's fixed. But that's why the problem gets worse every year, because they're not fixing it to begin with. They're putting these temporary band-aids that only get worse over time. And It's gotten so bad. It's not just DPW. It's also INDOT, which manages the highways. I don't know if you caught this. There was actually a serious accident caused on I-70 westbound near Richmond. I believe it was close to Centerville, Circleville, what have you, when a semi was actually overturned because of a pothole. It wasn't, reckless driving. It wasn't negligence on part of the driver or faulty machinery. The state police identified the pothole as the cause of the accident. And I have dealt with potholes on that very stretch of road. It almost made me get in an accident in my truck, and it was bad enough that it caused an accident with a semi. Multi-lane shut down, interstate completely shut down. So this is a joke. And other states, other cities, they don't have to put up with this problem. Other cities in the Midwest, so you can't even say like, oh, well, it's because of the extreme weather conditions of Indianapolis. Bull crap, bull pucky. My bull crap meter is going off because they don't put up with this in Wisconsin. They don't put up with this in the northern states, Michigan or.
I have a question about that. Like the truck driver, is the city helping them at all? Like with the.
Well, isn't that the question? Because I wondered the same thing. Since the state police in their report identified the pothole as the cause of the collision, if I were the trucking company, I would be seeking restitution from the state because this is damn ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm assuming they have like some sort of like camera, like on a dashboard camera, maybe.
Well, you would hope. But either way, they got the police report.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. Of course, we are just getting started. There's so much more on the way. Don't miss a moment. Stay tuned.
Want to hear some great news? Preborn is bringing babies back to life. See, what you might not be aware of is even though Roe was overturned and abortion has been greatly restricted in many states, the abortion pill has superseded surgical abortions, accounting now for over 60% of all abortions. Preborn's network of clinics are on standby for women in their darkest hour, and they meet them with God's love and free services to help them choose life, including a treatment that counteracts the toxic abortion pill. Through these life-saving and heart-changing measures, Preborn and their network of clinics have rescued over 330,000 babies' lives. Your tax-deductible donation of any amount is crucial in the fight for life and the heartbeat of our nation. Will you help us? All proceeds will go towards life. Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/hope. Sponsored by Preborn.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and it really is spring cleaning time. A great time to give your carpets some love. They are the largest air filter in your home, and a good spring cleaning can remove the really scary stuff deeply embedded in the fibers. There's a good chance you're breathing unhealthy levels of germs and dirt, dander, and bacteria that just keep recirculating again and again. Well, here's some really great news. Zero Res has a February special of 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119, plus $75 off air duct cleaning. And with their Gotta Love It guarantee, they're going to make sure your investment with them is a great experience. The Zero Res service is easy to line up. You can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. Mention WIBC, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119, plus $75 off air duct cleaning. It's Zero Res. Call 317-388-5141. 317-388-5141, or book things online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Are you wanting comfort at half the price? Now's the time, because Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers are 50% off with extra discounts for cash. Thinking about getting outside soon? Berlin Gardens and Pollywood Outdoor Furniture are up to 20% off during the early season sale. Hurry in to Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Sale ends Monday with free delivery.
We may be thousands of miles apart, but we can still connect. And when we do, we make things better. At Child Fund, we connect children all around the world with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Together, we co-create connections that help millions of children who live in poverty worldwide, and their families, and their communities, and you. Join us. Together, we can make the world a better place. 2 small worlds at a time. Visit childfund.org to learn more.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now's the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen.
You're listening to Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
Then tell him that his lonesome nights are...
Welcome back to Saturday Night on The Circle. If you're on the YouTube machine, make sure to log in and hop in the chat. It's always fun to see you interact with this show while we're streaming live. I am your host, Ethan Hatcher, producer Jack on the board. This segment, I wanted to cover Trump's pseudo State of the Union. Of course, it wasn't the official State of the Union. This was actually a joint address of Congress, but sometimes presidents do this during their first term, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. Obama, in his first term in 2009, held a joint address to Congress, very famously in September of that year. Of course, Donald Trump, he set the stage. He laid a very clever political trap for Democrats, and they fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Producer Jack, did you have the opportunity to watch the joint address to Congress? It was pretty lengthy. It was almost 2 hours.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, early on in the address, Donald Trump, he made what seemed like a hyperbolic assertion almost toward the introduction, where he said, "It doesn't matter what I do. I could cure a deadly disease, and Democrats, they wouldn't clap. They'd only frown. They always look so sour, the Democrats, always so sad." And it seemed like a ridiculous statement to begin your speech with, but he was laying the groundwork for what was later to come, because it didn't matter whether it came to immigration or whether it came to expanding our reach into space or other, unifying topics. Democrats were very dour. They refused to participate. They refused to clap. They held up these signs, false and other, crap. And Donald, but the only thing that they did clap for, you see, was funding for Ukraine. And that's where Donald Trump got him.
With no end in sight, the United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense. With no security,
They'll clap for that. Billions of American taxpayer dollars.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. 2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
So Donald Trump laid the trap, and Democrats sprung it. They absolutely fell for it when they are cheering on war and slaughter, but can't applaud a young child with brain cancer. Oh, yeah, that was a moment, producer Jack. DJ Daniels, he was a young kid, younger than 13, I think, who had been battling terminal brain cancer. And Donald, he's infatuated. He wants to be a police officer, really good kid. And they were invited to be part of the joint address, and Donald Trump made him an honorary member of the Secret Service because he wanted to be part of the law enforcement community. And Democrats couldn't even clap for a kid with cancer. How gross is that, producer Jack?
Yeah, that's pretty gross. I saw it and I thought it was heartwarming.
Yeah, as it should be. I mean, and that was one of the unifying moments that Democrats ignored because of their contempt for the president. It's really gross. And of course, this was something that Scott Jennings, I should say, of CNN pointed out. And now even a correspondent from the Washington Post had to agree Democrats messed up.
This was a horrific night for the opposition party, regardless of how well she just spoke. It started out with Al Green getting thrown off the House floor because he couldn't keep his emotions under control. Then they had the ridiculous paddles, which now social media is roasting.
That you said false on one side and
ridiculous.
Elon on
and
the
then
other.
finally, and maybe most terribly, the Democrats who couldn't find it in their heart to stand for objectively good things, including the 95-year-old mother of Mark Fogel and Mark, who got rescued from a Russian prison, and they couldn't even stand up for that. I thought Democrats came into this speech lost and defeated by Donald Trump, and today it looks to me like they're even more lost and even more defeated than when this speech started.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
And you also probably heard earlier, producer Jack, when he referred to a member of the Senate as Pocahontas. You know who he's referring to there, right? Right, producer Jack?
I do not.
You do not? Okay, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because for those of you who aren't aware, of course, he is referring to Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, who is, one of these people that's infected with the woke mind virus. And to elevate her stature and prominence within the Democrat Party, she attempted to claim that she had Native American heritage, which, of course, she is as white as the wind-driven snow. And it is a ridiculous proposition on its face. She went so far as to try and validate her claim with a DNA test, which revealed that she had at least 7 generations separation between her and the closest relation to any kind of Native American blood. How embarrassing for the senator, at which point she had to apologize to Native American communities across the nation. So now Donald Trump refers to her as Pocahontas because she is the farthest thing from a Native American that could be imagined. And it's hilarious to point it out. But of course, we also mentioned that Democrats refuse to stand for anything positive, including the child with cancer. And here is Senator Fetterman taking his party to task, as anyone with a drop of common sense would, for not finding it. They say that they're an empathetic and a sympathetic party, but then not finding it within their heart to clap for this young child. Gross.
Republicans have been very critical of Democrats today, saying they did not stand up enough for Trump's speech during certain moments.
I don't know why we can't fully celebrate. I have a 13-year-old myself. And thank God she's never had cancer, but I think that's something we could all celebrate that. And I think it was a touching moment. And like I said, that's part of the best of the American experience.
The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
Now, of course, you can't trust Senator Fetterman any further than you can throw him, but he is good for a nice soundbite every once in a while, because he at least is aware of where the direction of the country is shifting, and for his own political stability and chance at re-election, then he's going to place both sides to a certain extent and call it his own party. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. We got to keep the ball rolling. Up next, the Sound Dump. Don't miss it.
Want to hear some great news? Preborn is bringing babies back to life. See, what you might not be aware of is, even though Roe was overturned and abortion has been greatly restricted in many states, the abortion pill has superseded surgical abortions, accounting now for over 60% of all abortions. Preborn's network of clinics are on standby for women in their darkest hour, and they meet them with God's love and free services to help them choose life, including a treatment that counteracts the toxic abortion pill. Through these life-saving and heart-changing measures, Preborn and their network of clinics have rescued over 330,000 babies' lives. Your tax-deductible donation of any amount is crucial in the fight for life and the heartbeat of our nation. Will you help us? All proceeds will go towards life. Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/hope. Sponsored by Preborn.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joyner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is JoynerHomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joyner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at JoynerHomes.com.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
The crew at LD Smith Plumbing has deep roots in Indiana. Unfortunately, most of the trees around here have deep roots too. And if it isn't roots in your pipes, it's a water heater ruined by sediment. No matter the plumbing problem, we'll show water who's boss. So if you need a new water heater, call us today and save up to $300 on a tankless water heater or $150 on a storage water heater.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
I'm Deborah Valentine. House Speaker Johnson today introducing a bill funding the federal government, which, if passed, would avoid Friday's partial government shutdown. South Carolina Republican Representative Nancy Mace on the Fox Report with John Scott addressing her priorities.
One of the questions I have is, how are we treating USAID? Are we going to be able to fire people over the next couple of months? What does that look like?
The House likely votes on the bill Tuesday. Approximately 80,000 employees of Health and Human Services have received an email offering voluntary buyouts with a deadline to respond by Friday, March 14th. A 14-year-old charged with murder and attempted murder in the shooting death of a Newark, New Jersey police officer and the wounding of another. Essex County prosecutor Theodore Stevens says the officer killed 26-year-old Joseph Azcona.
5-year veteran officer Joseph Azcona was shot before he even had the opportunity to leave his police car.
America's listening to Fox News.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
Visit Rhino Shield's booth at the Flower and Patio Show and learn about their 25-year transferable warranty protection. Plus, receive a free prize.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Everyone is talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation. Like your neighbor Dennis.
I was in the process of refinishing my garage and, trying to turn it into a man cave. So I started searching, online, and I ran across Galaxy.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings is not epoxy. It's better.
First thing I wanted to do initially is I wanted to repair where the concrete had eroded. They said they could do that. I said, well, heck, let me go ahead and get the entire floor covered.
Commercial or residential, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
They were so courteous and respectful of the home and the property. And when they're done, they cleaned up, picked up, swept up. It was like they were never there.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
I would recommend Galaxy over any other competitor, hands down. You're going to be taken care of and you're going to be satisfied. These guys know what they're doing.
I'm afraid explosives the only answer. It's the opinion of the entire staff that Dexter is criminally insane.
You're listening to Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
That boy needs to dive back once again into the media sludge as you don your faithful hazmat suit, and we'll begin with our neighbors across the pond whose civilization has collapsed in on itself under the weight of suicidal empathy as now they arrest citizens for simple social media posts. You'll hear the warped priorities of Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, who weeps for knife-wielding maniacs, and a Columbia professor who hilariously dubs government cuts as evidence of racism. Also, does Chuck Schumer come dangerously close to saying the quiet part out loud about the shadowy influence of the CIA? Don't miss a moment of this week's edition of The Sound Dump.
I'll take you for a ride. I'm a garbage truck.
It's the Saturday Night Sound Dump on 93 WIBC.
I take you to the dump. I show you the sights, you know you wanna ride. I'm a garbage truck.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on The Circle. I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher, producer Jack, beep, 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 pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. I forgot to mention this earlier, but if you haven't done so already, please make sure to give the show a like on the YouTube machine. We're trying to get to 50 likes, and every time we do, producer Jack's grandmother gives him a Werther's Original Hard Candy, and he loves those. We begin with the United Kingdom police across the pond who are making an arrest on an average citizen for the terrible crime of a social media post. Yes, you heard it right.
Well, what did it need to come to?
Tell us why you escalated it to this level, because I don't understand.
I posted something that he posted. You come to arrest me, you don't arrest him. Why has it come to this? Why am I in cuffs? Because of something he shared, then I shared.
There's someone that's been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media page. That's
not his.
why you've been arrested.
Afternoon, officer.
Tally ho, good chap. Out enjoying a cup of tea on this warm summer's day, I see.
Well, what else?
Hold on a minute.
What?
Queen Elizabeth's name.
Oh, no.
You're not using a saucer, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
hope
have
you
one.
know.
Oh, no.
That's illegal.
If we didn't have constitutional protections in place, Democrats absolutely would be throwing you in prison for your social media posts. I mean, look at how heavy-handed they were during the pandemic when you couldn't even make the suggestion that the coronavirus was a result of a lab leak from the Wuhan viral laboratory there, and instead they insisted it had to be from a Chinese wet market, of course. You weren't allowed to question the 6-foot social distancing until, of course, they had to admit that it was all bunkum and bullpucky, and they just made it up. It wasn't based on any level of science, and if they had the ability to arrest you for social media posts, as they do in Germany, as they do in the United Kingdom, then certainly you would be under threat of arrest by the law. Thank goodness we have freedom of speech. Elsewhere in the country, you can see a manifestation of Democrats' warped priorities in the city of Boston when off-duty police officer shot a knife-wielding maniac who was threatening to stab individuals on the transit system over there. And, of course, after pulling out a knife and threatening the lives of others, the off-duty police officer shot him and he died as a result of the attack. And of course, who is the mayor, who is the chief of police, who are the Democrats weeping for? Not the citizens. They're weeping for the maniac.
My condolences and all of our thoughts are with the family of the individual whose life has been lost.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of the individual who's been lost.
So our condolences go to the individual who was killed tonight.
Stop it, please, I beg you! It's a sin! It's a sin! It's a sin!
Ponder for a moment, producer Jack, that if this individual hadn't lost his life that evening, he very likely would have taken the lives of others. And that's what the Democrat mayor was weeping over. Oh, this poor man and his family. Oh, his life was lost as a result of him assaulting other individuals. Don't feel sorry for somebody like that. And this is a manifestation of the suicidal empathy that Democrats have, the kind of suicidal empathy that leads them to invite criminals to walk wholesale uninhibited into the country and then call you racist for questioning the arrangement. Now, here's another freak of nature for you. I believe he's recently made his way into the United States, and hopefully law enforcement will catch up to him shortly because, wow, what a weirdo. Here is Andrew Tate, who fancies himself as some kind of male role model, but certainly no role model that anybody should fashion themselves after. He's been accused of a string of heinous crimes, including human trafficking, and here he's having a conversation with Candace Owens and makes a really curious statement, producer Jack. Check this out.
Come get me, arrest me, perp walk me, put me on the news, tell everyone I'm a human trafficker. You think I'm not versed? You think I'm not ready? I'm a Navy SEAL in this. Come get me, raid my house, take my stuff. You think I sleep with a full phone full of evidence? You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think I'm dumb? Come get me, arrest me, let's do this all over again.
Am I evil? Am I like an evil person? Oh my God. I mean, absolutely. Do I not tell you that enough? You are like the most evil guy I know, man.
Come get me. Do you think that I don't wipe my phone every night? I'd leave evidence on there? Why, producer Jack, if I were law enforcement, you know where I'd be looking? I'd be looking at his phone.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like some way they can like retrieve that information.
Absolutely. Just because you have quote unquote deleted it from your device does not mean that digital investigators won't be able to retrieve the file. That is hilarious. That is so cute that he thinks that. But yeah, I would not be taunting law enforcement, especially with the history of being involved with them, as Andrew Tate has. Here is a professor who is appearing on CNN, and he was questioning the validity policy of DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, cuts to the size and scope of government, because you see, producer Jack, such cuts in and of themselves are inherently racist because they're an attack on the black man that formerly ran the country.
There are people who are charged with trying to find savings. So yes, it's an attack on government, but it's also an attack on this government. What I mean by that is it's an attack on this government that used to be headed by a black man. It's an attack on this government that almost elected a black woman to the highest office in the land. It's an attack on a government that has been more welcoming and more supportive of people who have come to this country in search for a better life.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
I mean, this is something that they tried when Barack Obama was president. Any criticism that you had of Barack Hussein Obama when he was the president of the United States, no matter what the government program was, no matter how big or small, any criticism was said to be racist. And this is a resurrection of the tired old trope. It didn't work then. It's not working now. Here is Senate Minority Leader, I should say, clarify, Chuck Schumer, who is perhaps letting the mask drop a little bit off of the deep state corruption, where he appears to be threatening the health and safety of the President of the United States and also that of Elon Musk.
To take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them. And we need the intelligence community. We don't know what's going on. Look at the Russian hacking. Without the intelligence community, we wouldn't have discovered it.
Do you think he has an agenda to try to dismantle parts of the intelligence community? I mean, this form of taunting hostility.
Whether you're a super liberal Democrat or a very conservative Republican, you should be against dismantling the intelligence community.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
Now, remember those 50 members of the intelligence community that all banded together and signed that declaration that the Hunter Biden laptop was surely Russian disinformation and had not a shred of validity to it. Of course, later it was subsequently verified by the FBI and used to convict Hunter Biden of his gun crime charges and also tax violations because of the information that was contained therein. Yes, those members of the intelligence community were actually deep state operatives that were attempting to influence, and successfully did, the outcome of an election in 2020 by obfuscating information that the American people had a right to know. And now here's Chuck Schumer making not so veiled threats using the intelligence community. Now more than ever before, I really want to see the uncensored, unredacted JFK files. You know, maybe it was the CIA who was that second shooter on the grassy knoll, especially given the way Chuck Schumer is talking. Elsewhere, here is, and now I'm surprised Piers Morgan hasn't been arrested yet for having conversations like this, where he was asking a guest on his show, the Piers Morgan Show, how they would go about defining a woman. And you see a woman is just based on whatever you feel like at the moment, at least this according to JoJo.
Give me a simple answer, Jojo. What is a woman, Jojo?
Well, a woman is whatever. If you feel like you're a woman, then you're a woman. I know I'm a woman. I identify as a woman.
So if I feel like a woman right now, I'm a woman?
I'm not threatened.
Hang on. What would you feel like?
If you feel like you're a woman, it's your identity, sure.
So hang on, just to be clear.
I'm sorry, what's a man? Piers, what's your definition of a man?
Just to be clear.
What's your definition of a man?
So just to be clear, if I feel like a woman right now, I am a woman. Is that your position?
And if you feel like you are a woman, Piers, and you want to walk around identifying as a woman, it is not my prerogative to tell you that you
Am I a woman?
I identify as a woman. What is a man, Piers? What is a man?
Oh, a man is
Donald Trump a man?
Human. That's it.
Piers, can I jump into that question?
Adult human male.
Adult human male.
Adult human male is a man.
Adult human male.
How to talk to a feminist. Let's begin.
So the history of feminism
Be quiet.
is actually...
Shut up. Shut up.
Oh, okay.
You know, 20 years ago, producer Jack, it really wasn't complicated what a man or a woman was. Everybody knew how to identify that. Now it's a subject for debate because of the warped perspective and priorities of leftists. Running out of time, but I wanted to play a couple more sound bites. This is Jasmine Crockett, a Democratic congresswoman, when asked what she would tell Elon Musk. She had a very eloquent response.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off. That's it.
Notice the vacant stare, the completely mindless look. That could only mean one thing. She's from California?
Very smart woman, Jasmine Crockett, spokeswoman for the Democratic Party, top spokeswoman for sure.
How about that? It's 0. And I know people gonna feel away. Listen, all I do is give y'all facts. So you come back to me when you don't get that check and say, Jasmine, you were right. Just like y'all want to get out there and say all kinds of, other stuff. But come back, because you're getting 0. I know these people. I work with these people. These people is not about this life, and they don't care about you.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. More on the way. Stay tuned.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, it's Rob. It's March, and that means spring is right around the corner. And this spring, you can make your yard look great after some tough winter weather by calling my friends from Save a Tree. Last week, Sean from Save a Tree came out to my house, and man, I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more pleased with the free consultation. I know by the time they get done, Save a Tree is going to have my yard thriving, and I can't wait to enjoy it all summer long. Save a Tree is the tree, shrub, and lawn experts, and March is the perfect time to get started on planning for your yard in 2025. It could be one of the best home upgrades you've ever made. See how beautiful your yard can be. Set up your own evaluation at saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. SAVATREE.com. Or dial pound 250 on your smart device and say the keyword Save a Tree. That's pound 250 keyword Save a Tree. Or saveatree.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
I will never forget the day we found out my brother needed a heart transplant. Sure, you hear about people needing an organ sometimes, but it doesn't feel real until you're the one waiting. I tell you, we're just thankful. God answered our prayers. But my brother wouldn't be alive today without that transplant. That's why I signed up to be an organ donor at the BMV, because I want to be the answer to someone else's prayers.
Sign up to be an organ donor. Say yes the next time you're at the BMV.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hammer and Nigel.
The commander-in-chief doesn't have to watch Matlock with pudding smeared on his face. We've got a commander-in-chief that no longer falls up and down the stairs multiple times. I'm excited for that.
Hammer and Nigel. Afternoons on 93 WIBC.
But take your time, think a lot. Why think of everything you've got? For you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
How can I try to explain?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Saturday Night on the Circle. Wrapping up the first hour here, but don't worry, we still got a lot to go. Second hour, stay tuned. We got Conspiracy Carl on the way, as well as replaying a conversation I had with Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish son, Jaden Lopez, about the stock market and about trading options, especially short selling. Very fascinating discussion, so make sure to stay tuned for that. However, this segment, I wanted to, of course, update everybody, if you hadn't heard yet, on more details surrounding the tragic demise of Gene Hackman and his wife, who appears to have died actually a week before him. This according to police who have done autopsies on both her and Gene Hackman. Arikawa likely died sometime after February 11th, which was the last time she was seen on security cameras or communicating with others. Of course, after that, her emails went unanswered. She is thought to have died from a flu-like disease contracted from rats, which is incredibly odd. And then Gene Hackman passed away, it is believed, from heart failure after his wife died. She's there in the bathroom. She's not able to care for him. He already has advanced Alzheimer's, being in his late 90s himself. He's not able to care for himself anymore, and then passes away of natural causes because he's not getting his medication, and then falls down dead on the floor. And the dog also was left in the kennel and is believed to have starved to death. So very tragic way to go. And, just reminds you that you got limited time left on this earth. So make sure you maintain close connections with your friends and your loved ones. So that way they come in, they check on you, and you got somebody to know. I think it was security who ended up finding them on the 26th, over a week after Hackman was likely to have died, again there in and about February 18th. So just a very tragic end for a beloved actor, a very storied career. He had a lot of good roles, a lot of good stuff that Gene Hackman was in, and it's just a very tragic way to go. Stay tuned to Saturday night on The Circle. We, of course, got a lot more to come. We're going to have Conspiracy Carl on the show, and, of course, that conversation with Jaden Lopez. Don't miss a moment. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
Want to hear some great news? Preborn is bringing babies back to life. See, what you might not be aware of is, even though Roe was overturned and abortion has been greatly restricted in many states, the abortion pill has superseded surgical abortions, accounting now for over 60% of all abortions. Preborn's network of clinics are on standby for women in their darkest hour, and they meet them with God's love and free services to help them choose life, including a treatment that counteracts the toxic abortion pill. Through these life-saving and heart-changing measures, Preborn and their network of clinics have rescued over 330,000 babies' lives. Your tax-deductible donation of any amount is crucial in the fight for life and the heartbeat of our nation. Will you help us? All proceeds will go towards life. Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/hope. Sponsored by Preborn.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
At Babbel, we know that language is more. It's more than hello and goodbye, and good evening and good night.
It's more than mastering talking about the weather or directions to the closest cafe. At Babbel, our mission is to help you learn language for the long run. Babbel gives you the skills to learn a language for life. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you text RADIO to 64,000. That's RADIO to 64,000.
When I was younger, I may have did some stupid things, even committed some crimes, but I am not a criminal.
I work for youth advocate programs, I was Tamani's advocate, helping him stay out of jail, stay in the neighborhood, and get a job.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her.
YAP is a community-based alternative to youth incarceration and neighborhood violence. Youth advocate programs. Learn how at yapinc.org.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
A funding bill proposed. I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. House Republicans proposing a spending bill today that would avert a partial government shutdown on Friday, keeping the government running until September if it's passed. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports from Washington.
That bill has President Trump's support. The president posting earlier on Truth Social, quote, "The House and Senate have put together under the circumstances a very good funding bill. CR, all Republicans should vote. Please, yes, next week. Great things are coming for America, and I'm asking you all to give us a few months to get through to September so we can continue to put the country's financial house in order. Democrats will do anything they can to shut down our government, and we can't let that happen. We have to remain united, no dissent, fight for another day when the timing is right. Very important, make America great again." Of course, with a slim GOP majority in the House, every vote counts.
Democrats are criticizing the flexibility of the Trump administration will have on spending and have called for a bipartisan agreement. The House is expected to vote on the bill Tuesday. President Trump is sending a letter to the leader of Iran in an effort to negotiate a nuclear agreement.
This is a pivot for President Trump, who in 2018 withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. At the time, the president said it did not do enough to deal with the threat of Iran's missile program. Now, Trump is facing a critical point as Iran advances its nuclear program. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, says Tehran won't be accepting President Trump's demands. Khamenei rejected the prospect of holding talks with the Trump administration. His comment came days after President Trump restored its campaign of maximum pressure in Iran to stop it from developing a nuclear weapon. Iran's foreign minister maintains they won't negotiate as long as those severe sanctions are in place.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. A report from the UN nuclear watchdog last month says Iran sped up its production of enriched uranium in the last 3 months. America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A warning against speeding. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending this hour. Thousands of warnings have gone out to speeders on I-465 on the northeast side. Matt Baer explains.
28,000 warnings were issued to speeding drivers on I-465 on the northeast side in January. If you received one, then you were busted by one of the new speed cameras near the I-465-69 interchange. They're part of a pilot program intended to slow down drivers in the Clearpath construction zone. The number of warnings may seem high, but a lot of traffic moves through that area. Natalie Garrett of INDOT explains.
There are around 100,000 vehicles that travel through that interchange daily.
Matt Baer, WIBC Traffic.
Leaders in Howard County are investigating after an elderly woman was killed in a fire Friday. According to Coroner David Granger, 80-year-old Judith Dybalski became trapped in her home on 500 East after it caught fire. Unfortunately, she did not survive, and her autopsy is scheduled for Monday. Hoosier Governor and former Senator Mike Braun recently appeared on Fox Business, where he discussed his support for the National Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE.
The courts are going to be maybe hamstrung a bit to stay within protocol, but I think they will not stop trying to find out how you run our government more efficiently.
He noted that he has taken inspiration to establish the iDoge, or Indiana Doge, in order to further limit spending in a well-run state. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures in the lower 30s for Sunday. Winds out of the west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. High temperatures getting into the mid-50s. Dry and sunny days take us into next week. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water can seep into your attic, walls, and insulation, causing mold, rot, and expensive structural damage. The good news? Moss Roofing. They offer free inspections. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust Moss Roofing to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right every single time, visit mossroofing.com. Call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or go online to Moss Roofing. MOSS, mossroofing.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Emmer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Indy Humane. Find your new best friend today. Visit indyhumane.org.
On Saturday night where I was born, down on the phone, guitar clinking and we started drinking till the break of dawn.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
We started clapping and he started...
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is hour 2 of Saturday Night on the Circle, where I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, and producer Jack, beep, 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 pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. If you've missed a moment, catch the podcast on WIBC.com, as well as my podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to hop on the YouTube machine and give us a like on the live stream. It helps us out, helps the station out, and most importantly, if we get up to 50 likes, producer Jack's grandmother will give him a Werther's Original hard candy, and he loves those. We're about 25 likes in right now, so hop on the internet, get to the YouTube, give us a like, and it will help producer Jack get his favorite candy in the world. This segment, I wanted to talk about Donald Trump continuing to sign executive orders that shape the nation, and discussing things which could have a far-reaching impact, like potentially ending daylight savings time, something that's near and dear to my and many other Hoosiers' heart.
When are you going to get rid of daylight savings?
Okay, are you ready? So, this should be the easiest one of all, but it's a 50-50 issue. And if something's a 50-50 issue, it's hard to get excited about it. I assume people would like to have more light later, but some people want to have more light earlier because they don't want to take their kids to school in the dark. And it's a little bit one way, but it's very much a 50-50 issue. And it's something I can do, but a lot of people like it one way, a lot of people like it the other way. It's very even. And usually I find when that's the case, what else do we have to do?
Producer Jack, of all the things, he's not going to fix daylight saving time. Do you have any kind of opinion on this? Do you have a dog in the fight, or are you totally oblivious to daylight saving?
Yeah, I don't mind.
You don't mind? I think that's this Sunday, isn't it? Isn't it tomorrow?
I'd have to Google it.
I'm Googling it right now. Daylight saving time 2025. No, that's next Sunday.
Okay.
So not tomorrow, but next week. I'm not looking forward to it. I never look forward to it. The time change is utterly absurd, and there's a simple fix to all of this, Producer Jack. It doesn't require us to fidget around, jumping up backwards and forwards with the time. We split the difference. We split the difference by a half an hour and keep it there. Keep the time there. It's not unreasonable. Other countries have split the difference and do not participate in daylight saving time because surely you're not getting that much more energy saving a half hour in either direction. So just keep the time static, and then we don't have to go through this debacle every year. That's what I would be in favor of. Of course, Donald Trump not addressing daylight saving time. However, he did last Saturday sign an executive order which designated English as the official language of the United States, which would allow government agencies and other organizations that receive federal funding to choose whether or not to continue offering documents and services in languages other than English. This may seem like a small issue, but it sets the stage for a much broader conversation, and we see how many communities across the United States have been left to deal with the fallout of Joe Biden's grossly negligent porous border policy, even in communities like rural Indiana, which is not somewhere you would consider to be heavily English second language speaking. Here's some statistics that were shared from Wayne County Schools, and for your information, Wayne County, that's over in the Richmond area. That's just close to the border with Ohio, over on the eastern part of the state. Pretty rural part of the community, lots of farmland. And their school system, they have over 6,000 students that speak a second language. 4,000, almost 5,000 English language learners with 93 different represented countries in their school system, including the United States, Nigeria, Honduras, Haiti, and Mexico being the top 5 countries of origin with, get this, Producer Jack, 80 different spoken languages that they have to deal with in the Wayne County school system in rural Indiana. That is the fallout of Biden's border policies. That is the pressure and the resources that have been taken away from schools that are left to deal with the children of these illegal immigrants. And then teach them a second language, to spend the resources, the funding to care for these individuals. 38%. Almost 40% of Wayne County's total enrollment are English language learners. This is a problem. This is why Donald Trump was elected. We can't, it's nothing against these kids, but we can't bear the burden in perpetuity. We cannot shepherd the children of the world on an unlimited basis. And this has taken away teaching resources. This has taken away financial resources from the schools in an already thinly covered rural district of Indiana. This is gross. In addition to the other problems that have been invited by Biden's border policy, here was a Haitian migrant that was flown in under the Biden program that invited relatives of currently legal migrants to the United States. Well, hey, why not your extended family? Hey, we'll fly them on over. And that's what happened to a family in North Carolina? I'm sorry. North Carolina with tragic consequences as he murdered 3 of his family members.
3 family members died Friday morning, and new tonight we have learned the youngest victim was 4 years old. One was 13 years old, and the third victim was their 77-year-old grandmother. The man charged with going on the violent rampage appeared in front of a judge today. WRAL's Carly Haynes was there and joins us now live in Fayetteville. Carly, it was a very short court appearance, but we learned more about what happened.
A lot more. Mackendy Darbouzy received no bond, so he will remain in jail. This was very disturbing information that we learned from this court appearance. And once again, these details disturbing. These are very serious charges. So Darbouzy could face life in prison or even the death penalty. Property records show Darbouzy, a Haitian national, had lived at the home for about a year.
As far as we know, he was here legally within the country. We have contacted Homeland Security to confirm that, but as far as we know, he was here legally within the country.
The incident brought a Fayetteville neighborhood to a standstill Friday, a 9-hour-long investigation, as investigators pieced together what may have happened inside and why.
The world may never know.
So, of course, they're saying, we don't know why this happened. We know exactly why this happened. It happened because of Biden's policies that rolled out the red carpet and empowered worthless, corrupt actors like Brandon Johnson to completely set aside the needs of the citizens in Chicago to promote this endless stream of illegal immigration. And note the many different ways that Chicago has empowered them, whether it's with driver's licenses or school resources or even participating in local elections. Yes, you heard that right. Here's Brandon Johnson being confronted during a congressional hearing. Shocking audio.
I want to ask you a series of questions. If you could answer with a yes or no answer, that'd be great. First of all, do you support allowing illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses? Just yes or no?
So the city of Chicago has been a welcoming city for over 40 years.
I'll take that as a yes. Next question.
And that's the policy that we will hold to.
Do you support tax dollars subsidizing or paying for the health care of illegal aliens?
I support investments in all residents of the people of Chicago, and that's what I do.
That's a yes as well. Do you support free or reduced college for illegal aliens?
Again, I support the investments of all residents of the people of Chicago.
Take that as a yes. Next question. Do you support allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections?
Again, I'm not over the jurisdiction of that type of law, but again, I'm committed to investing in all residents of the people of Chicago.
I'll take that as a yes. I've got an article from the Chicago Sun-Times, and I'll quote here briefly. Johnson proposed, among other things, that all residents, regardless of citizenship status, be able to vote for Chicago Board of Education members. Next question. Your website states, and this is your campaign website, quote, "I will not stop fighting until abortion access is completely secure for people all over the country," end quote. Yes or no, do you support taxpayer-funded abortions for illegal aliens?
I support the reproductive rights of all people, all women.
That is a yes as well. Your mayoral transition website mentioned support for creating a Chicago Board of Education non-citizen advisory board. Again, yes or no, do you support appointing non-citizens to government advisory boards?
I was invited here today to discuss welcoming cities.
Yes or no?
I was invited here to discuss welcoming cities.
This is the yes or no.
If you're interested in asking me questions about the welcoming city, I'm happy to answer those questions.
No, we're going to move on.
And that's why millions of illegal immigrants were drawn to the country, because so many millions of dollars, tens of millions of taxpayer dollars were poured out to roll out the red carpet, especially by corrupt, warped individuals like Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago. Stay tuned for more Saturday Night on The Circle, up next.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joiner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joiner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joiner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit joinerhomes.com.
I will never forget the day we found out my brother needed a heart transplant. Sure, you hear about people needing an organ sometimes, but it doesn't feel real until you're the one waiting. I tell you, we're just thankful. God answered our prayers. But my brother wouldn't be alive today without that transplant. That's why I signed up to be an organ donor at the BMV, because I want to be the answer to someone else's prayers.
Sign up to be an organ donor. Say yes the next time you're at the BMV.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. It's basketball season in Indiana, and while teams are making it drain on the court, Hope Plumbing is making it drain in your home with a $49 mainline snaking special. Now is the time to get your main lines checked before spring has sprung and it's too late. Don't wait. Call Hope Plumbing today at 641-HOPE, 641-HOPE, hopeplumbing.com, and let's make it drain.
It's not uncommon for us to meet with a new client, and the first thing they say is, "We heard you on the radio."
How can a partnership with WIBC serve your business?
Hi, my name's Richard Michaelis. Our firm's Michaelis Corporation. We're general contractors, and we specialize in insurance restoration.
Brand awareness.
When our business needed to increase our brand awareness, we looked to Radio 1. Throughout the years, we learned their listeners have a large amount of trust when it comes to businesses that are recommended on air. The on-air talent that endorse Michaelis are real customers with real experiences.
Deliver your message to the audience that matters.
Working with Radio 1 has created brand awareness for Michaelis Corporation.
Take your advertising to the next level. Text business to 71007 now.
We've enjoyed our partnership with Radio 1. We look forward to continuing for many years to come.
Get results with WIBC.
Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who'll make preventing pandemics their life's work. Sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who'll help combat climate change. And generating possibilities for a student who'll be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
Together, we can provide 1 billion meals by 2030 because everyone should be welcome at the table. Learn more at nourishingneighbors.com.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender. Pretending that I'm doing well.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
I'm lonely, but no one can tell.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Saturday Night on the Circle. If you missed a moment of our show so far, make sure to catch the podcast uploaded to WIBC.com and Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. This week, I was invited to co-host with Rob Kendall on the Kendall and Casey show, filling in for Casey, and we had a fascinating conversation with Indy Spanglish son Jaden Lopez about the weird, wacky, and wonderful world of stock option trading. And this is something that not a lot of people know about because it is incredibly convoluted and is more than just buying low and selling high, as it were. So replaying a portion of that conversation for you now with Jaden, who himself is dipping his toes into the investment world, and he'll explain it a little bit more in detail.
Oh, that's good, Kev. That's perfect. Not only is that one of the 10 greatest songs of all time, it's also perfect for this segment.
Oh, yeah, keeping it thematic.
That's very good. It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Kevin's here. Casey's out. Ethan is in for Casey. Ethan from Saturday Night on the Circle. All right, so you and I are having this conversation offline, and I said we got to bring our guest here in studio on to talk about this impromptu, because this is why our economy, people lose everything in the economy.
This is a fascinating conversation.
It's why the American greed people exist, because this thing is so convoluted, so hard to understand, that it's no wonder people get taken and lose everything.
It is not enough in the stock market for you to engage in this casino-style gambling and merely bet on winners. Now you can also bet on losers.
Okay, so Spanglish, Indy Spanglish, Jerry Lopez, his son Jaden is our super fan.
Astute progeny.
That's right. Jaden is our super fan. Always, for some reason, wanting to come in and be a part of watch this. Like, he'll figure it out eventually. He'll figure out what I am eventually. But right now, I've got him totally snowed that I'm some cool, great guy. Ask Kev. It takes about 2 years before you generally figure out what a dumpster fire I am. You'll get it eventually.
The charm wears off.
Jaden, by the way. Hello, Jaden. How are you?
How you doing, Kendall? I'm doing good, man.
So, you are, what are you? Are you 20? Are you 19?
19.
You're 19. And you...
Functionally 20, though. Your birthday's in, like, what, a month?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like Matthew Broderick. Was that Star Wars? Was that the movie?
No, Matthew Broderick was never in Star Wars.
No. There's a movie. There's the movie where he activates the game.
The War Games.
War Games.
There's nothing like Star Wars.
Yeah, sorry. But you're like a savant with crypto and stock trading. Like, you're super good at this. You're barely scraping by on every other facet of your life, but you are like a genius when it comes to understanding the stock market and how it works.
Yes, sir. That's my thing. Yep.
And you're making not like quite a living because you're a college student, but you could, if I said tomorrow, go make a living, you could do it. You could make it work at 19 years old.
Oh, yeah, I could definitely make it work. But obviously, that comes with the business, so I got a lot of overhead expenses.
It's amazing. So. He's Jerry's kid. Like, look at the condition Jerry's in, and that's his son.
You'd never imagine.
No,
never connect these
it's
two
unbelievable
people.
the life that he is, the quality of child Jerry has produced. You would never think that.
It's like a Kardashian walking in here.
Okay, but then so we're having this conversation about what's going on in the stock market, and he's talking about how, I've got to invest in this or do this, and then he starts using phrases like, I've got to put and I've got to call, and I'm like, okay, explain this to me so that I can understand what you're talking about. And you will verify this for me, Ethan. He has been intelligently talking about this, but he's been doing it in a way that it might as well be Chinese. And I feel better because his girlfriend is a college-educated person. She is here. She has no idea. She says for 2 years he's been telling her, and she has no idea. Kev is a college-educated person. Kev, you have no idea what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
And I am a college-educated person, and I have no idea. And I've been asking legitimately serious questions. You kind of get some
I
of
have
this.
the loosest grasp of understanding.
So think about this. Between us, you have 4 college-educated people in this room. I do a #1 rated radio show. Ethan is a private college-educated person.
2 degrees.
Kev went to private school. Your girlfriend is smarter than all of us put together. She don't know. And Jaden, this is the thing. This is why people lose everything in the stock market, or certain people make something, because it's like something that only 10 people understand.
Well, let's actually specify what it is that we're talking about. We're not just talking about stocks here. We're specifically talking about shorts, stock option trading. And that is when you are betting on a stock to lose. So you can contractually acquire a stock at a certain price with the expectation that the stock value will go lower.
But why would you do that?
And the expectation is that then you will be able to profit off of reselling the lower value stock. However, it can backfire on you immensely if you acquire the stock at a certain level contractually, because you don't own the stock, you own a contract.
Okay.
And then if the stock goes up, you can then be on the hook for the additional value that the stock has accumulated. This is all a game similar to the subprime mortgage loan crisis that we were talking about, where these financial institutions are playing a huge game of hot potato. They know the money is bad. They know the bomb will go off at a certain point, and they are gambling that they will not be holding the hot potato when the bomb goes.
Maybe I'm just pissed off because I want to do this. Like, I want to be in the game. I want to be a Soros. Like, I want to be like, I want to be like, I'm shorting, I'm putting, I'm calling. I don't know how to do it. Our economy, Ethan, correct me if I'm wrong, our economy should not be this difficult. That regular educated people are like, dude, I don't even know what you're saying.
But I love where you began this segment, perhaps unintentionally, when you referenced war games, because the reference is prescient. The only way to win is not to play.
All right. So is that right? I mean, like, you will either... I joke with your girlfriend. I said, one of 2 things is going to happen in your life. You are either going to be living on one of those mansions in Geist, or you're going to be an American Greed guy. I said, those are the only 2 options for you being in this thing, right? And I'm going to be one of those guests on the show that, like, Jaden was a good kid. We tried to warn him. You have to be somebody like you in order to understand how to play in this market and be reasonably successful.
Yes, sir. You either have it or you don't have it. I mean, there's no in between. Like, there's really no in between. And the number of hours that I've spent just sitting on a computer, looking at a screen, watching YouTube videos, and studying, taking notes. It's like full-time school, basically, to learn this stuff. Like, I mean, every day, like, I am sitting on my computer learning, watching new videos before the market opens.
She's just putting the gun to her head sign. But this is great. This is crazy. So you could teach me how to do this. How long would it be? Honest. You know how little I know about technology, and you've seen the dumpster fire that has been this Q&A we had offline. How long would it take you to reasonably teach me so I have a cursory knowledge of how to participate in the stock market?
Hypothetically, I mean, it could take you anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, or it could take you 3 months.
So I got Bill Demery.
It really just depends.
Bill Demery.
Don't forget Mark Deedle.
Well, that's real estate. Yeah. All right, Jaden, go be productive in life. Don't end up like us. That's crazy. Jaden and I talk for another 5 minutes during the break, and I just have no idea.
We could talk for hours about the stock market, and especially options trading. It's stupid.
If you missed the last segment, Jaden is Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish, his son, and he is one of those guys that I will be a janitor for when it's all said and done for me. And on my last days, I will be just sweeping floors at some mega mansion he lives in. He has mastered the stock market, or how to do the stock market at 19 years old. And he's trying to explain to me how this thing works on the shorts and the puts. And I said, regardless, our economy should not, this is like one of the bedrocks of our economy. People are doing this. Our economy should not function like this, where reasonable people are like, huh? What? Like, reasonable, everyday people should be able to understand things that happen, and I'm amazed that this is allowed to happen.
Yeah, where you're essentially banking on bankrupting other people.
Yes, that's crazy to me, especially because we went through this in 2008.
And yet, despite going through this all once before, it seems like we've learned nothing from incredibly unwise and risky investment practices. But what goes around comes around, and those who refuse to learn from history are doomed to repeat it again. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle with Ethan Hatcher and producer Jack. We'll be wrapping up the show coming up next. Stay tuned.
Want to hear some great news? Preborn is bringing babies back to life. See, what you might not be aware of is, even though Roe was overturned and abortion has been greatly restricted in many states, the abortion pill has superseded surgical abortions, accounting now for over 60% of all abortions. Preborn's network of clinics are on standby for women in their darkest hour, and they meet them with God's love and free services to help them choose life, including a treatment that counteracts the toxic abortion pill. Through these life-saving and heart-changing measures, Preborn and their network of clinics have rescued over 330,000 babies' lives. Your tax-deductible donation of any amount is crucial in the fight for life and the heartbeat of our nation. Will you help us? All proceeds will go towards life. Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/hope. Sponsored by Preborn.
Everyone's talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation, like your neighbor Brett.
We did Galaxy for the sidewalks and also the porch. The porch had a few pits. Galaxy said that was no problem.
Home or business, Galaxy Concrete Coatings got you covered.
Obviously with the front sidewalk and step, so we didn't worry about any kind of slipping. You know, you're concerned about that after rain. And then when it did dry, it didn't spot, it didn't stain. It was just like it had been done yesterday.
Lots of styles to choose from, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
One thing that my wife commented on was how easy the Galaxy coating swept versus just the bare concrete.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
We moved here recently. I didn't even think twice about calling anyone else but Galaxy to come do this house.
Fox News. I'm Deborah Valentine. House Speaker Mike Johnson today introduced a funding bill designed to avert a partial government shutdown next Friday. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports President Trump has signaled his support for the bill in a post on Truth Social.
Trump posting a short time ago on Truth Social, quote, "The House and Senate have put together under the circumstances a very good funding bill, CR. All Republicans should vote, please, yes, next week."
Johnson said he'll bring the funding bill to the floor early next week. 4 wind-driven wildfires have erupted on Long Island's East End, prompting evacuations. New York's Governor Hochul has issued a state of emergency. The Suffolk County executive says 2 homes have burned, 1 person's been injured. Toronto police searching for 3 armed suspects following Friday night's shooting at a Toronto pub, which injured 12 people. America's listening to Fox News.
Has the holiday season left you overwhelmed, stressed out, and overweight? Do you feel frustrated when you think about what you need to do to be healthy and feel better? You deserve a simple approach to a stronger, healthier, and more enjoyable life. Exercise Inc. has been helping people in Central Indiana reach their health and fitness goals for 20 years. The approach is simple. Strength train with a certified coach once a week for 20 minutes. Adopt the 9 simple habits you need to follow to change your health and lose weight. Then get get out there and enjoy life because you'll be stronger and have more energy and you're going to feel better and you'll lose weight and you'll probably even look better too. And you may even be able to get off of some of those prescription medications. Exercise Inc., Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and now in Fishers. The studios are private, no mirrors, no music, and no spandex. Just you and a professional coach working to reach your goals for the new year. Go to exerciseinc.com today to sign up for a free consultation.
As an IT professional, you have the opportunity to guarantee your data security, participate in 100% landfill-free disposal, and have peace of mind with R2 V3 certifications. Technology Recyclers provides guaranteed complete data destruction, 100% landfill-free disposal, and the certification to back it up. Protect your data while saving the planet. Receive a free pickup of your e-waste from Technology Recyclers. Visit tech-recyclers.com. That's tech-recyclers.com.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
Sit back in your old rocking chair. You need not worry, you need not care. You can't go anywhere.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your Bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher. The podcasts are uploaded to WIBC.com and SaturdayNightOnTheCircle.fireside.fm. Plus, you always find us streaming live on the YouTube machine 7 to 9 every Saturday night. Hop in the chat and join the fun. The media has long been recognized as a surrogate member of the Democratic Party and ideological apologist for leftism. But now, increasingly, the mask has dropped on the pretense it was ever anything else. Now, many organizations literally parrot from the same scripts to promote the illusion of expert unanimity with Marxist ideology. But who are the shadowy forces pulling the strings and shaping the narrative behind the scenes? One man can help connect the dots that lead back to the deep state and shed light on the shadowy cabal of incestuous media corruption. He's producer Carl, who joins us for another edition of Carl's Conspiracy Corner.
You're listening to Carl's Conspiracy Corner. The truth is out there.
Have you ever seen a commie drink a glass of water?
Well, yeah, I can't say I have.
The views expressed by Conspiracy Carl are those of Carl and Carl alone. They are not the views of this station or its distributors. I mean, obviously.
Welcome back to the concrete bunker and lead line deep beneath the streets of Indianapolis in an undisclosed location far from prying eyes. Tell us, producer Carl, what do we have on the agenda for this week?
Well, it's good to be back. I keep on referring back to it. Dr. Hotez saying that there was going to be all these pandemics that were going to begin on January 21st. And, of course, we in the conspiracy world were incorrect because we didn't have all these pandemics January 21st. However, the pandemics have begun. We have the bird flu, and now we have measles.
Oh, yes, the measles outbreak in Texas.
Yeah,
I've heard about this.
Which is all caused by RFK Jr., you know.
It's amazing how these people have had weeks in office and suddenly they're responsible for all ills across the nation. The hypocrisy of the left is shameless, as it ever is.
It's all their fault. Well, so I use a 2020 as basically the baseline of how we should look at things going forward, because in 2020, think about it, 2020 vision is when everything becomes crystal clear. The same thing is occurring again. So I have a few audio clips for you to play. The first is our beloved news from the Mockingbird media.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about the trouble one-sided news stories in our country.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish things simply aren't true without
about checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
They're all saying the same thing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I think they're referring to us, those dangerous types out there sharing unchecked information.
And like the reason for this is because a lot of these, small time media groups, local channels, they've been bought up under the umbrella of larger corporations, and they're all fed from the same
source.
The same source, usually the AP.
Yeah.
And then they come out with things like that. So, to clarify again for the listener, that was like a multiplicity of many different local news,
all across the country
combined together, and they're all not just saying the same idea, but verbatim reading from the same script.
Without revealing too much, so I've done many years in media.
Yeah,
and I worked at a hub, and what a hub is they actually broadcast multiple channels from multiple broadcast markets all at the same time. And what was horrifying during COVID is that you had New York City and San Diego saying identical things during Blovid. And in fact, the pandemic began as COVID-19, but at some point, like probably around early summer, COVID-19 just turned into the coronavirus the same exact day. Now it was fighting the coronavirus, which is the common cold.
Right.
So it's really spooky on how everything is unison, and the question is who's writing the scripts? Like, who's controlling this narrative?
So you're saying not just the AP, but there's, an even deeper shadowy source that's controlling what the AP puts out.
Yeah. I mean, who's the puppeteer? That's what we're always trying to look for.
That's the question.
So on the Joe Rogan show, Chase Hughes was on talking about how we're all involved in a psyop.
You only need one thing, and you can spot whether or not you're standing in the middle of a psyop. That one thing is, if the opinion that's coming out needs people to be silenced, it's a psyop. There are psychological operations in play.
Wow. So if you can't question it, if you're supposed to just go along, it's a psyop.
Yeah, and if people have to be silenced or publicly shamed because of their information, and they're not telling people the sky's falling, they're not saying crazy shit. They're just saying basic stuff, and they need to be silenced. That is a psyop.
And that was the whole thing during the COVID pandemic, is you weren't even allowed to say that it came from the Wuhan laboratory that was studying coronavirus in the city where
it was totally true.
Right. I mean, there were so many things that you weren't allowed to say. The 6-foot social distancing that was full of crap, and they said it was based in science, and then had to admit, we kind of made it up. It was just based on feelings. We guess 6 foot's probably good enough. Yeah.
What's really frightening about this? It's one thing where, you can't say in the media certain things. This is what Chase Hughes was talking about, because you'll be silenced. But even in our own workplaces, like, for instance, I was telling you about how I worked at this hub. And I would say to people, are you seeing what's going on? The same thing that I'm seeing, that like they're all saying the same things, whether or not you're in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, or you're in San Diego, identical scripts. They're all reading the same script. And people would shut me down, like, stop being crazy.
And it's not crazy. You literally just heard it,
Yeah, they're all saying the exact same things.
And this is why people are questioning the sincerity and the truthfulness of media, because it's not, an independent search, reporting of the news. It's all being parroted from like one or two central sources.
Yeah. Well, so in the original clip, the first audio clip that we played, it was always to save democracy. Well, how can you have a democracy when
there's no freedom of thought?
Yeah, well, there's no dissenting thought allowed. How can you have a democracy? You can only have a, quote, democracy if you allow all voices. That's why the United States, in particular, is such a special country. We have this First Amendment where you can, without being jailed, you can voice your dissenting thought. I mean, how strong is your society if it can't withstand dissenting thought?
As compared to, say, states like Germany, which are literally giggling about throwing people in jail for sharing memes memes online. Oh, well, if they say something to your face, that is something that is temporary. But if you publish this information, it is forever on the internet.
Yeah, well, which is just totally ironic, because the people that are screaming out to, like, we're fighting for democracy are the Klaus Schwabs, whose family members were quite literally members of the Nazi Party of Hitler's days.
Well, they've circled right back around to it. They're burning the books again.
Well,
they're burning the memes this time.
Speaking of the Euro weenies, although the listener can't see this, right after the blow up at the Oval Office with Trump and Zelensky, a lot of, I would say about 10 that I see quoted on the Twitterverse, they said identical things. Now, I believe she's the head of the EU right now in Brussels, Ursula.
Ursula?
Yeah, Ursula. Queen Ursula, as I've heard on alternate
Wasn't she
media.
the octopus in Little Mermaid?
Well,
I guess she's the octopus of the EU now.
Yeah. So they said all the exact same thing. They're saying this to Zelensky. Your dignity honors the bravery of the Ukrainian people. Be strong, be brave, be fearless. You are never alone, dear President Zelensky. We will continue working with you for a just and lasting peace. And 10 other Euro weenies said the exact same thing. So the media and the government are the same.
Donald Trump owned their ass during the joint address when he pointed out that the European Union has purchased more Russian oil and spent more money on Russian oil and gas than they've spent on the entirety of Ukrainian defense. The hypocrisy, and then demanding the United States step up.
Well, since I was talking about how media and government have become one and the same, remember, let's refer back to the first clip. Let's see the right before the joint session address. Democratic senators came out and put out their statements.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down. They're up. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of grocery, gas, housing, eggs, of essentials. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has done nothing. Goose eggs to lower prices. Instead, he's pardoned violent criminals who savagely beat police officers
on January 6th.
He's letting Elon Musk take a chainsaw to vital government programs, and then, even worse, giving him access to Americans' most sensitive data, Social Security numbers, tax returns, health care bills. He's fired thousands of essential workers, people who help our veterans get their benefits, people fighting Ebola in Africa so it doesn't come here. He's frozen funding for vital programs that so many American families need. Cancer research, education funding, payments to family farmers, and so much worse. Why are they doing this? Trump, Musk, Doge are taking these vital services away from you for one reason only, so they can give tax breaks to their billionaires club. Their plan is awful, simply awful. Billionaires win, families lose. And that is the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that is the truth. But wait, Ethan, there's more. Now this is Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, and Chuck Schumer. 22 more of Democrat politician senators.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
Oh my God!
I can't even understand this one, Carl.
Talking about mockingbirds. So this is a large psyop that we're talking about, and I'm asking the listeners to please not get fooled again.
Well, certainly, as George Bush once famously said, you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, ain't gonna get fooled again.
So anyways, nothing has changed since 2020. We're a little more savvy, but the media and the politicians are continuing to do the same old tricks.
And there's one person in particular that you always lay the foot of blame at. And I'm trying to find the audio here. And it's always old Klaus here.
Create, I would say, a new world order.
There we go. All saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, producer Carl. It's been another edition of Carl's Conspiracy Corner on Saturday night on The Circle. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Want to hear some great news? Preborn is bringing babies back to life. See, what you might not be aware of is even though Roe was overturned and abortion has been greatly restricted in many states, the abortion pill has superseded surgical abortions, accounting now for over 60% of all abortions. Preborn's network of clinics are on standby for women in their darkest hour, and they meet them with God's love and free services to help them choose life, including a treatment that counteracts the toxic abortion pill. Through these life-saving and heart-changing measures, Preborn and their network of clinics have rescued over 330,000 babies' lives. Your tax-deductible donation of any amount is crucial in the fight for life and the heartbeat of our nation. Will you help us? All proceeds will go towards life. Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/hope. Sponsored by Preborn.
Hey guys, it's Rob. It's March, and that means spring is right around the corner. And this spring, you can make your yard look great after some tough winter weather by calling my friends from Save a Tree. Last week, Sean from Save a Tree came out to my house, and man, I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more pleased with the free consultation. I know by the time they get done, Save a Tree is going to have my yard thriving, and I can't wait to enjoy it all summer long. Save a Tree is the tree, shrub, and lawn experts, and March is the perfect time to get started on planning for your yard in 2025. It could be one of the best home upgrades you've ever made. See how beautiful your yard can be. Set up your own evaluation at saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. SAVATREE.com. Or dial pound 250 on your smart device and say the keyword Save a Tree. That's pound 250 keyword Save a Tree. Or saveatree.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Hey, Wings Etc. fans, guess what? March 10th through 13th is Wings Schooner Madness. We're rolling back prices on award-winning wings and big ice cold schooners to just 69 cents for wings and $5 for domestic schooners. Dine in only. Mark your calendars for March 10th through 13th and get great deals on wings and domestic schooners when you dine in for Wings Schooner Madness. March 10th through 13th, only at your local Wings Etc. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub with 15 Central Indiana locations and online at wingsetc.com.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Baby, don't you forget about me. Don't you.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saturday Night on the Circle, coasting things to a close here on this Saturday evening, the eve before daylight saving time. I had that wrong, Producer Jack. It's not next week. It is, in fact, tomorrow. So at 2 o'clock later this evening, 2 a.m., it will become 3 a.m., and daylight saving time thusly will begin.
Good to know. I'm glad you double-checked.
Yeah, good times, good times. This segment, though, I wanted to end on a bit of a lighter note compared to some of the topics we've talked about, and that is AI. Of course, there's AI script generators, there's AI, conversation fixers, AI pictures, and then also AI music, which I think is pretty great. And you've heard Jason Hammer. He's done great work with AI voices and a little bit of AI music. Well, here's something that caught my attention, and I wish I could take credit for this, but this is some AI Star Wars. Please tell me, Producer Jack, you watched the original Star Wars trilogy.
No.
None of them? Not the prequels? Not the trilogy?
No.
Okay, well, I grew up with this. Star Wars Episode 3 came out when I was 12 in 2005, so it is an integral part of my childhood. Loved it. And this is an AI creation. This is what Episode 3 would sound like. AI, if turning it into a rock musical. Using the actual script from the movie.
Don't lecture me. Oh,
Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of the Jedi. I do not fear the dark side as you do. I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire! Don't make me kill you, Anakin. My allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. You will try. I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you. I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over. Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Well, then you are lost. This is the end for you, my master. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Don't try it. You were the chosen one. It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness. I hate you. You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away that, first of all, AI could even do that, to be able to synthesize something that sounds at least semi-convincingly like it came from a human being.
Yeah. No, that was surprisingly pretty good.
Max entertaining. And I'll wrap up with this, of course, a song that's been parodied many times. This is yet another hit on the list from There I Ruined It on YouTube, addressing Nickelback.
Look at this photograph. It's a photo of a photograph. There's another photograph. Because I photographed a photograph. So many photographs. Makes me want to take a photograph. I should probably hang that photograph next to my photo of a photograph.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Hear the sounds of the ragtime dance. All the gals wanna get in my pants.
But back to that photograph. It reminds me of the photograph. Before the photo of that photograph. When it was just a normal photograph.
Not the recorder.
There, you can find that again on YouTube. There I Ruined It. He's got a lot of AI parodies, mashups, mix-ups, and other AI stuff that you can do. Great stuff. Check it out sometime. Love it, Producer Jack.
Will do.
Thanks for sticking around, and I leave you with my parting words of wisdom, as always. Wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever you're doing, remember that life is a state of mind. See you next week, folks.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana Health Insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $75